Hi, I'm Shauna Lee with Infinity Readings. I want to thank everybody who's joined, liked, or subscribed to my page, or my Facebook page. I have a Facebook page called Infinity Readings and Reviews if you want kind of more of a personal insight into where my mind is going, and also access to free monthly readings. And I will be giving away like micro readings. I'll be on for an hour and just accept questions as they come. First come, first serve type thing, and then we'll go from there and see what kind of demand that brings. But that's where you'll get access to that, and that's also where you'll get access if I decide to go outward with my readings. That's Infinity Readings and Reviews on Facebook. Click join, I'll add you in there, and then just wait around and see what happens. A lot of times it's just a more personal view of what I get instinctively throughout the months that I'm not sending the videos out. Sometimes I get intuitive downloads and I spit it out through the page, or I just feel inspired to put, a lot of positive information in that way, and that's where all the kind of the news that I get intuitively is just spewed out there. So I want to thank anybody who's already in there and who is following me, and I want to thank them for their likes, subscribes, for the comments. I appreciate it. As long as it's productive in some way, I absolutely absorb that shit. I get in there, and it actually makes a difference in how I proceed forward. I do have fluxes here and there where family and life gets in the way, and usually everybody's been very accepting and graceful of that time. So I appreciate that for all the people that are on there. Now, I'm going to explain a little bit about the decks that I'm using. I have I'm doing a 2 pyramid, male-female split for my readings. I just, came up with that on the fly. I'm using, I found masculine and feminine set, which I'm very stoked about. The Gods and Titans deck from Stacey DeMarco, and the Goddesses and Sirens deck also from Stacey DeMarco. Those are the two, the male and the female, that I use. I clarify the female deck with the Whispers of Love. And I'm turning more into the love side of things. I was clarifying with some grounded energy, but my decks kind of somehow disappeared, so I had to change it up. So the Whispers of Love is really giving the insight to the female side, and then I'm using the Love and Sex Tarot deck to give little harder edge to the God and Titans, the male side, kind of looking into their sexual. I don't know that they would pick up on the softer side of it anyway. I think it would be a little too fluffy. So I think the sexual edge that this tarot deck gives is working very well. I think the energies are working very well. So that is the decks that I'm using at this point. Whatever you're dealing with from June 20th to September 22nd, that is the run time here that I'm forecasting for. There's a few themes that are running through. One of them is a sense of play. Keep that for the summer. Don't get too serious. But those that are driven to need to, I guess. We need to keep love and compassion alive, and not only that, go outward with it. So happy summer to everyone, and on with the readings. So this is the Libra reading for the summer of 2017. I'll start with the feminines. The first card we get for you guys is Power. So I feel like, interestingly enough, I feel like when I get that card I should be saying everybody's feeling powerful, but I feel like there's a sense of trying to gain power back. So maybe having not felt so powerful or something, it is almost kind of like a traumatic or shocking or jolting that has kind of put you out of that realm of feeling all-encompassing power, right? So I feel like you're just trying to get back on top of that. The spring kind of threw you for your power loop. So you're trying to gain that back. That's what I'm feeling here, sensing. So the next card we get is Irresistibility. Pulling from the Virgo feminines, they were really on the heels of bringing that up as well. I feel like that is an integral part of These Libras, though, I think they realize, I mean, it's in the center here, it's not off skew. It's very much a part of who they are. They know they're irresistible, especially when it comes to the opposite sex, or I'm saying opposite, but to those they want to attract. They're feeling there is irresistibility in the femininity, all of that. So that is, it's not something they're weak on, that is their strength. So on the right side here, we got healing. Getting a sense that some of these Librans might actually be in a physical space of healing. Not just mental healing or emotional healing or anything like that. But I'm feeling like they might even have had some surgeries or some major body trauma. And that may be part of the power, is taking you out of the commission. Like literally not having the strength to move, you know, normal as you would on a normal daily basis. So I feel like the healing is pretty literal there. I mean, it might be for these Libra women. That's what I'm getting a sense for, is they're literally trying to get back to physical health. Not just mental or emotional, but a physical kind. So that is in the works here. That is what's happening. And I don't feel that there's any obstacles there. I feel like it's just slow and steady, but it's going to happen. They're healing. Now the next card I get is cycles. So I feel like some of this little interruption here is making them realize the cycles. This is the latter part of the horoscope signs are really into that mode of figuring out what their cycles are. You mean I've done this before? Yeah, I've done it before. Oh boy, yeah, I remember. And boy, what a mess did I make, or whatever. So I feel like the rest here that are on the latter parts, I feel like the cycles are going to be a bigger part of what you're looking into, spiritually, that is. I feel like they're coming to the surface and going, yeah, you've done this before, like take note. So there is a sense here of repetitiveness within how it is that your cycle's going. I mean, you're healing. And I get a sense of kind of almost traumatic situations where you're trying to, it's just really clouding the healing and the power, taking the power away. It's kind of clouding your judgment with everything. But once you start to clear up a bit and start to, you know, focus outside of that, the cycles is going to be what's on the forefront on your mind, and you're going to be dealing with that. Now the next card I get is fear. Now it's interesting that it comes on the heels of healing. So I feel like this healing that you've had to have physically, traumatically, you may have some fear wrapped around that, like a fear of getting back to normal, getting back to basics. I think just use your judgment. And you know what you can handle physically. You know what your body can do. Don't push it. Just stay within the limits or behind such. You don't have to rush it. Nothing has to be going in any direction. And if it does, it can wait. Just take it slow and steady. And the fear, you just have to make sure that you respect yourself and your body and what it's trying to tell you. That's really where I'm getting most of this fear wrapped around. And also a sense of your irresistibility. This may have something, this healing that you're doing physically may have something to do with your irresistibility. Sorry, I'm trying to go too fast. The fear may have something to do with your irresistibility. The fact that your trauma, the thing that you are physically healing from, is actually taking away from your irresistibility, and you need to just worry less about that. You need to focus on the better part, the brighter thing, the positive side. The fear really is there on the sidelines, but it is part of your healing process, so it cannot be, just don't fear. Fear is there. It's there to awaken things and bring things up to you so that you can calculate them and let them go. So part of it, but I feel like if you are going to kind of get out of that black cloud that you're in. I feel like that's really what it is. You're kind of limited in what you can do. You cannot function the way that you were functioning 2 to 3 months ago. You've kind of been set out of whack here, so things are out of balance. So you're just fearful of that. Like, am I going to be able to get back to normal, and what's going to happen if I do? And you know, how am I going to be judged and da-da-da. So these are things you just shouldn't be worrying about. Your healing will progress. You will maybe not get 100%, but you will get most of your abilities back. You just need to have faith and relax in it, because the more you stress, the more you block your system from really physically healing itself. So the more that you stress, the ability to heal is diminished. So your last card here is commitment. So I'm not sure how this really turns in here, other than to say that there might be a commitment to that healing and to getting your power back. It's like a trine here that's very strong, keeping all these middle. And the middle part is irresistibility, cycles, and fear. So we really have the greater part of you is aware of the things that need to happen here. We just have to make a commitment to stay on that track. Make a commitment to, you know, if you are in rehabilitation, make a commitment to utilizing those resources to the fullest effect. Make sure that you're in there and you're doing what you need to do and not being distracted by other worries, because that's really what I'm seeing here. Black cloud of worry. And worry is just used up energy in a bad way. You know, you're using up to fulfill things in a way that's going to come out negatively. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to waste your energy on manifesting bad things, because that's really what worry is. It will manifest you a bad result. So you want to hope, and hope is kind of like, I don't have no proof of this, but let's invest in it anyway. And I mean, when you hear hope and you hear fear and worry, what sounds better to you? A hope sounds better. It comes off the tongue better. So that's really where you have to sit. There's a kind of a negative mind frame here for these feminines. They're going through like a bit of a struggle. It's a major struggle, it seems to me, that they're going through. And it is there for a reason, and it is part of a cycle of learning. And it is also something you have to make a commitment to use your mind to overthrow what your negative fear set is really trying to perpetuate. It's like negative fear and worry, and then positive hopes and dreams. You need to go on that side. You just need to latch on to that. So a little bit of fighting with the demons here, but just making a commitment to that better part of things, to the healing, to the strong points that you already have, that you don't have to worry about in that way, that are, you know, that have always been part of you and always will be part of you no matter what. You have to look at those things, and then slowly your power will come back, will be regained. And you'll see the cycles and your fear. You'll diminish it as the more you make the commitment to being in a positive mind frame. So it seems like these Libra females are kind of having a bit of a negative time, but it's almost like, oh, don't be in the dumps. No, there's reasons here to be in the dumps, but we really do, even if we have negative cycles that we're in, we really need to try to stay as positive as we can, and that's really what it is. It is not a great position that they're in, but they really have to look at the silver lining, the bright side, all of that. So let's get into the love side here of things. The first card I pulled for the Librans for their love and relationship sector is have patience. Love is patient and kind always. We are not like that always, but love is patient and kind always. So keep that in mind when you're dealing with personal relationships. I feel like there may be a lack of an ability to be patient within the relationship. I feel like it's just, you know, things are getting to you, so you're taking it out on your partner. I feel like these Libra women, they have partners that are very sympathetic, empathetic, and they know their place, and they are, but I feel like this shock that has happened to their system, physically, mentally, it really does permeate all levels, but the shock that they've had go through their system, they're kind of really daft, and it's going off in the wrong direction of their partner. So they got to have patience to deal with everything and the partner. and just be patient. The next card I get is honesty is essential. To be a loving person is important that we speak truthfully and in a loving manner. So you may not be feeling, or I get a sense too from these Libra women is kind of having a distorted view of what they really need to tell their partner and what they don't. And I think that if they actually, I don't feel like they're outright liars and they're cheaters and all that thing. I feel like it's more like, oh, well, they don't need to know, it's not going to help or hinder. But I think if you were to be more truthful to your partner in more situations, you would realize that it really is an open dialogue and it gives your partner a chance to give feedback. So I'm feeling like the honesty is more like almost in denial of things that may go wrong or could go wrong or are wrong that you just don't want to bring up because you don't want to have an argument. Like it's all in the right kind of vein, like that white lie category. But what's happening is you're really shutting the doors on your communication, and you need to be open, positive or negative. You need to be open and in flow with that to really gain the best of both. And I'm saying worlds, but to gain the best of the partnership, you really have to open that, leave that open, positive or negative. And you need to, I mean, honesty, I treasure that royally, you know, as something that absolutely makes a relationship work. You don't have honesty on one end, and their refusal to do so, it's not going to work. It's going to go in the dumps. So honesty is essential, and like I said, I don't feel it's big, major lies and cheating and things like that. I feel it's just more everyday things that are going to add up eventually. So keep that in mind. Honesty is essential. So keep it light and keep it flowing, and let that partner in. You know, let them in to all those little things, because that's really how they feel closer to you. The last card I got for love and romance for the Libra females is get to know each other. So learning to meet another's need for love is important for a relationship to grow. So there may be some singles out there who are, you know, maybe that's what your patience is for, you know, to wait, because there's, you know, and eventually if you speak from the heart and from truth, you'll eventually come across getting a chance to getting to know someone. And then when you do, just dive into it. You know, what does it say? Learning to meet another's need for love is important. Yeah. So whatever, you know, just that open and honest communication, it just bears fruit. And when I feel this more for the singles, this kind of, but if you're in a relationship, getting to know each other is kind of like, you know, maybe along the lines here, we really haven't talked enough about what we truly feel about things, because you're in that rut, male, female, or male, whatever it is. You're in that rut where you don't want to say something because you think it's in the coupledom. It's not right to do that. You don't stand up to whatever. But there's honest and true communication. That's going to get you further than any of these rules that people have made up writing books or whatever, that, you know, you need to get into a relationship. You do not need to hold yourself back. And if you are holding yourself back in a relationship, then that's probably not the relationship for you, because you should be able to feel free to do so. You should be able to feel free to let yourself go. And that has to do with the truths, little, big, or whatever. So yeah, a little bit of holding back in the Libra relationships there. And like I said, I don't see it as a devious thing, like they're trying. It's just, I don't want an argument. I think that might cause an argument, so I won't go there. But yet it lets your partner know you better, so I think you're better off to reveal that. And then it's not like a done deal. You just have a discussion about it, and then you bring it up and you go through that. So that's kind of the sitting here. So a little bit of I'm feeling a physical, like some people might be going through physical hardships at this time, and trying, or really in the spring, and then trying to get back on top of things for summer. So hopefully they do so, and I see healing. It's just a matter of the mindset and the commitment to the mindset. and then you'll get through it. So that's all you have to do is commit to being positive. And that really does, I mean, all your cells, if they're happy, they got energy. If they're sad, they're lethargic, they cannot work for you. So you just need to make that commitment to be happy. If you sit around just watching comedies all day, if that's it, that's all that you can do, then do that. That's enough. That'll get you through it. And then in the love sector, just communicate more truthfully to your partner, because it won't be that much of a hit as you think that it might be, or it won't cause that much drama or bad vibes or, you know, chaos. It will not create chaos, so just go with that. Now, on the male side, the Libras, they are, first card we get for them is skill. So there is something that they are focused on, and they are knowing that they need a lot of skill to deal with it. I think they're kind of learning as they go. These Libra males are, yeah, it's on the fly, whatever's going on here. Whether, I mean, it could even be in relationships. We're kind of going in that way here. But whatever it is they're dealing with in life, they're realizing they need to use their skill and hone in on that. And they are ready and poised to do so. And it seems like they may not have been prepared for the skill that they need at this time, but they're willing to dive into it and gain it at any moment. The next card we get is flow. So they are in the flow. So this makes sense with your skill. So when you're in the flow, there's things that come and kind of stir you up, and you're not prepared, and you're not, you know, because if you are truly prepared, you do not learn from that. And it's essentially, this is kind of a trip up here for people on the surface, but when you are having things come at you that you are truly prepared, you relax and you do not engage fully 100% in the moment. You're not aware most times. Now, when you're in the flow, things come and it shakes your world up. So you really have to, oh, I have to pay attention to this. Oh, I have to pay attention to this. It's all new energy coming at you from different ways. So there's that flow coming in for these Libra males. And I was feeling there was a lower state they were coming from. And it's funny that it's coming through the female now. It seemed to have hit them, the male side, a season or so back. I think in the spring or even the winter, there was a crash there. I remember feeling the empathy from the reading as being very low and dark and depressive. So it feels like they're out of that. That is out. They're back in the flow of life, and summer, right, helps that. So they are engaging in that. And the next card we get is perfection. So they're feeling to the best of their ability. They're feeling potent as the Libra male that they are, the heady, their thoughts, they're all of those things that they are good at. They're feeling accomplished in and feeling ready to move forward with. The next card they get is discovery. So they are discovering through their skills that they have more here to offer. And so that is really, I mean, when you look at this card, it is really striking in the way the blue coming from the eyes of the temple there that's weeping out water. You know, which could be a symbol of spirituality coming forth, and now they're diving in it, they're in it, right? They're moving. And they're not only that, but they're prepared. He's got the sword there, and then in skill too carries that sword in a different manner. But here it's more on guard. But the discovery is coming forth, and it's new, fresh, all that ability stuff, and the flow is bringing it. He's discovering he's needing new talent, gaining new talents and needing new skills to do so, and he's prepared to search and search and seek to find them. The next card we get is communication. So if Libras, nothing else, these males are good at communicating. They will absolutely be able to tell you to a degree where you just have no doubt in your mind where they're coming from and what they want. If they're asking for something, you know exactly what they want. If they're asking, or explaining a scenario, to a T, they can get it to you. So that is their strong point, and I feel that is the discovery that they're making through this process. It has to do with communication with others around them, where they're headed. Now, the end result here We have obstacles. So there may be, what's interesting, I'm getting a sense that this discovery, the skill and the flow and the perfection that they're feeling about their own qualities, I feel it is because they've come across some obstacles here, but now they're in their flow and they're ready to start knocking things off, and they're feeling that they can be skillful in doing so. They can start demolishing things and they can start getting through things. I think maybe that funk they were in before was really a sense of I can't do anything about it. I can't, no matter where I go, da, da, da. So now they're more in a positive frame where they're starting to see answers here. They're starting to see little cracks they can get in and start weed away the junk and start getting to the meat of things and going, you know what, there's a way here. There's a way I can deal with this and solve this. There's a way I can go here and make this, you know, a happy moment instead of a dull moment. And so they're starting to see through the obstacles, and they're starting to find the faults, and they're starting to get ready to go and attack it. And that's the perfectionism, is you got to have a little glimmer of hope in order to trudge forward. If you don't see that hope, you can turn around and go in another direction. But they're seeing it. There's a perfection there in the flow, and the skill is there. They know they have kind of what it takes. They may have to learn a little more, discover a little more, but they're going to get there. And the communication is kind of the key here. I feel like it's an underplayed quality that they may not be utilizing to the best of the ability, but the communication is absolutely going to bring you more solutions. So that's what it is. They're going, yeah, that's it. The communication, they need to communicate outward instead of being so recluse about it. And then you'll start to get other people that will help you with those obstacles. So the obstacles are there. That's part of your path. You're in the flow, though. So you're seeing the lighter side. You're still getting pulled a little bit, but that's just for your contrast. That's just so that you can see that you can conquer. So you need to just use your perfectionism, that feeling of your personality and what it is that you have to offer. You know your good traits, you know your good qualities. You've just clouded over it for the last season. You're just kind of now getting back, you know, yeah, I am. I'm a decent human being. I'm smart. I'm organized. I know how to get things done. I know what I need to do, and I'm going to do it. And even though I saw obstacles in these areas, I'm starting to see that it's not just a shut door. You know, I can open this. I can unlock it. I can unlatch it. There's a window. I can break that. You know, so these are the way that he's thinking. It's starting to come back, his thoughts, because they're really mind people, these Libra males, well, Libras, air. They're mental people. I mean that in the best way. So they're very prepared mentally before they actually do anything physically. And that's what's going on here, is they are doing physically and mentally at the same time. So they're kind of not on their... they're not on their game, because it's the, you know, they want to be so prepared that they know. So they're kind of learning as they go, but it's working out. So they're having a good flow here. They just have to be aware that there's obstacles, and there may be more. I mean, you know what? I'm going to take another one here. I hope I don't regret it. Give another one for the end result. And then what we have here is inquiry. So yeah, it seems like you might be coming across obstacles here, but you just, you know, inquiry, communication, having to do with asking. I feel like you may, you know, just have to dive into the humble mode and ask for help for these obstacles. If you can't conquer them yourself, don't go into that black cloud that you were in. Come out, stay out, communicate to others. They may be able to help you and bring you out of that funk. But for now, you're very positive and feeling very effective in the fact that you've got some solutions here, and you're going to utilize them to the highest degree that you can. You're learning as you're going. It feels uncomfortable, but you're okay, because you're going forward, and it's a better progress than where you were sitting in the winter, especially, and more in the spring it's starting to lift. But in the winter, I felt it was very heavy. So that's good. Now, for the love and sex factor, we kind of pumped it up on the feminine side. I get a little more on the softer edge, but with the men, I kind of raunch it up a bit. And we come into the love and sex tarot cards. We got 13, death. So there's an ending here, something that needs to be cut away. in your relationship sector. You may have had a breakup. You may have gotten rid of. I feel very strongly, especially since I got the second card as the Magician, feel very strongly you were in charge of that. You were the one that went in there and you're like, yeah, I got rid of this. I'm out of here. So that may be part of this process here that you're going through. You know, there was an obstacle there. You were with someone that had to go, and you just suddenly realized it. You know, you got all the tools you need, and you're doing what you need to do. So this may even be all of this stuff wrapped up in a relationship scenario. So with the 13 is the ending, new beginning, transitions, moving forward. The Magician amps up the ability for you to handle that situation. It's not going to be so choppy. You're in charge here. You're the one that's given that given that ending. So therefore, you're the one, you know, dealing with it. It's not going to come on a negative way, even though it may affect you negatively. You are handling it in a more positive way. And then the last card I get is the Nine of Wands, and that's really kind of like a getting to know you card on a physical level, okay? Like there's a getting to know you card where they're completely separate, they're across the table. But this one's more intimate, more personal, more, you know, grounded in the physicality of within the relationship. So it may have been that you've recently got rid of okay, this is one scenario that's popping up in a splitting. You may have recently got rid of a relationship that was purely physical, and you may have done it because you know, for whatever reason that you needed to do it, just feeling it wasn't a right fit. But either way, you were in charge of that and you decided to let that go. And or you may be in a position where you got rid of a relationship for whatever reason. You were in charge of that split, and you are now in charge of moving forward and wanting to go in the direction of a physical intimate relationship in something with more depth. So this is really a link of it could be a physical only relationship that they cut from, or it could be a more satisfying physical relationship that they're going to from something before. But either way, it's good transition, good changing of energy. You're in the flow, so that is good. That's all that really matters about this. You really need to be, you're kind of on your game. You really have to realize how much power that the communication will give back to you. And that is the key here to the reading, I think, for the males for sure. For the females, they're just in a healing stage, trying to bring back their power. It's coming. They have to make a commitment to it, and they'll be fine. So the key for the women is the commitment. Key for the males is the communication, and everything will work out fine. And I feel like over the summer for the Libra males, there will be a few obstacles. I feel like in the love sector, you might actually get more in your love and sex, romance sector than you will in your life and work and all of that sector. I feel like you're actually going to get rewarded a little bit in the love sector, and that might be due to the principles that you use. You react this way in work, you react this way in love, so you've got to see how that's different, because your love sector is really going to highlight over the summer, and everything else is going to be obstacle oriented, but nothing that a little bit of struggle and strife and climbing can't get you through. So it's all decent. It's decent and better than the readings that you've had in the past. So we're coming out of that, and it takes a little effort, but you're going to get there. So for the Libra energy, it's a little mixed. It's a little mixed. The males are coming out, the females are kind of coming out of the same energy. They gotta heal, and in different ways. In different ways it's coming across. So thanks for everybody for watching, and take care and have a great summer. Be kind and have fun.